Hi, this is Whiskey in a Week, and what we're doing is we're first going to make bourbon and then we're going to make scotch. The bourbon you make in less than 7 days. This is a kit that we provide for making bourbon, and what you do is you take the lid off and we provide you with wood chips and a custom blend of wood chips that we came up with, and you can either use 100 proof moonshine or you can use Everclear and water to get to 100 proof. But this time what we're going to do is we're just going to use, this is Old Smoky, and as you can see it's pretty full, so we're just going to dump that in right to the top. So we're using the entire thing, and then you just dump in the wood chips. Don't forget to put the label on the top so you know when you start, because you really need to start tasting it on day 3. So day 3 to 4 is about the same flavor profile as Woodford Reserve Bourbon. One of the things that I actually like day 5 the best. Other people like day 2 or day 6, but you don't want to go past day 7 because it will taste like wood. The proprietary blend of American oak wood chips from our farm that we put together actually accelerate the aging process, and it accelerates it so much. After day 7, it's going to taste very woody. Now you're making bourbon. So we're going to wait, and then we're going to go ahead and start tasting it. So now that we've finished tasting the bourbon, and we really like the bourbon, we want to go ahead and stop the aging process. So what you need to do is pour it back in the original bottle, or you can actually pour it back into a decanter, and it will keep forever, or until you finish it. Next, you're going to go ahead and make scotch after you've dumped this out. So now what you have is we've made bourbon, we've already dumped it out at the flavor profile that we really like, and now what we have is a used bourbon barrel. Used bourbon barrels are great for doing one thing, making scotch. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a high wheat vodka. This time we're actually going to add Absolute. You can use Absolute, Svedka, Smirnoff. All of those are high wheat vodkas. And what you're going to do is you're going to actually go ahead and fill it up. Just leave 3/4 of an inch or so right at the top of the jar for expansion. Don't put it in front of the window. It's not really good. You don't have to shake it, you don't have to heat it up or anything else. Then after you fill this, you put the lid on. Don't forget to write the date down on the same label that's already on there, and save the screen. So now, just a little tiny bit more. And I like to fill this up quite a bit because this is 80 proof. Now remember, the last one we used was 100 proof. So you can use 80 proof to make the scotch, put the lid on, wait 10 to 11 days and start tasting it. By day 15, it should be close to a Macallan 12-year scotch. Some people like it a little bit heavier, you can wait a little bit longer, but you don't want to wait too long, and you don't want to drink it all while you're tasting it. So now with scotch, we found the flavor that we finally like with scotch, so we need to stop that aging process. So we're going to take and we're going to put the screen in. We're going to take and put the screen right in on top, and all the screens are cut for the regular mouth mason jar. So you just put it in, tighten it down, and then you can just pour it right back in to the original jar. And in effect, that stops the aging process. As you go through and after you finish the aging process, what you want to do is you want to let it sit for 3 days, because there's a phenomenon called bottle shock. Now, I didn't believe it either, but several of my friends talked about it in the wine business. And what I found was when you're doing bourbon or you're doing scotch, it takes about 3 to 5 days for the flavor to fully develop after you get it away from the wood chips. And you can then go ahead and use the wood chips for smoking meats or fish on the barbecue. So now that you've already made your bourbon and your scotch, and you like it, and you found the flavor profiles that you like on each of these, now you're drinking what you've made and what you want to drink, not what someone wants to sell you. Whiskey in a Week, what a wonderful thing.